Okay, welcome back, guys. The feedback on the first video was amazing. Like in under 24 hours, we've almost reached 100 views. That's nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
120 views. So, really, if you may not understand, like, if you just watched or liked or commented on the video, it really plays a lot of role in how the video is being performed. So, if you've done anything, if you watched it, like, commented, share, it really helps the channel grow. So, that way, I would like to thank everybody who supported us so far, like, basically in the past 2 days, because yesterday when we uploaded the movie today, the video, today morning I had like 10 to 12 messages from 5 or 6 people like really saying a lot of good things about it. So I really would like to thank everybody who has supported us so far, and we would like to try and uplift everything, the experience, the content that we are putting out here, the kind of guests that we are bringing out. So we'll also put in everything to make sure that you're also satisfied with this podcast as well.
Yeah. Anyway,
In continuation to the episode 1 and 2, we're pretty much talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is building up to the Endgame movie, which is going to be released tomorrow. So yeah, today we are going to talk about the Cinematic Universe Phase 3.
yeah. This is Supernacular. Put on your headphones and embrace what is gonna come. That is the movie Endgame. And this is all just a recap of what happens before Endgame. Instead of spending about more than 18 hours of like screen time,
Yeah.
this is just gonna be in under 3 hours. Summation of all 3 episodes. But let's see how far this, let's see how long this episode goes. I think Phase 3 consists of about 9 movies, man. That's
Yeah,
huge.
and 9 heavy movies.
And 9 heavy movies. Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's do or die now or never kind of scenario for Marvel.
Yeah.
And they're just like not pulling their punches, man. They're not pulling their punches.
Yeah, starting with Civil War.
Oh yeah, Civil War, one of my favorite movies. Like not the best favorite, but definitely the fifth favorite in the Marvel Cinematic
It played
Universe.
a very pivotal role in what the future held for all of the characters, because they were like literally fighting with each other. So, and it also introduced Spiderman and Black Panther for the first time. So, let's talk about that, like, because we saw two new characters. So, for the first time that we saw Spider-Man on screen, pretty much the entire theater went berserk.
Yeah.
Because, dude, like, there's an intro character. I know it's Spider-Man, heavyweight character still, but who takes Captain America's shield from him?
Yeah. Bucky has done it, but that
Bucky
to
has
like
done
not taken
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
It
And
was in defense, but this
yeah.
guy's like, okay, here's mine.
Yeah, so it's such a good scene where he's like under roofs and he comes and he takes it off. So
Hey guys.
yeah, so it's such a good scene for Spider-Man also. And I still remember what happened when Bucky was being chased by Black Panther, and Black
Oh
Panther
my
came
God.
on screen for the first time.
Oh my
I
God.
was the only person in the theater who screamed at the top of my voice like woo, because I still remember that scene where there's a shadow that's like
Yes.
like shrinking, and Black Panther comes, does a flip, and he's like this, and immediately jumps straight fighting with Bucky like hand on hand. It's like such a good martial artist because he's been trained in such a way, and
Yeah.
even Bucky was not expecting such a level of character to fight him, because if you remember the scene before Black Panther gets in his suit, it's actually T'Challa who's like
Yeah.
fighting him bare bones, and he's exerting some kind of force, and you can see a sense of surprise on Bucky's face where how can a person be such strong where he's just like
Yeah.
taking punches from a metal arm, and Bucky, man, like you remember the scene where he punches Captain America's shield and there's a
Yeah.
literal vibration, and here like he's fighting with him without his suit. So that way, I really loved how they showed, and even in the tunnel where Black Panther is chasing him and Captain America is behind Black Panther, he's outpacing Captain America.
Yeah.
So he's like,
He literally catches the bike, dude. He's like,
Yeah.
and then Bucky falls down. Like,
Yeah.
wow, this
wow,
is
it's, like,
amazing.
incredible. Like
Yeah.
I know that it may not have been the best costume, whatever, but I like the kind of royalty and the pose that Black Panther carries with him.
Yeah.
Like, I know that for a lot of people, Spider-Man was the biggest character that
Show
came
stealer.
out of show stealer. But for me personally, it was Black Panther. I still love Spider-Man, but he's almost as good as what Black Panther made me feel in that movie, because I kind of resonate with that kind of stealthy image, but still being powerful,
Yeah.
like sticking to your own goals. Because he's very diplomatic, where he's not being involved with anyone's agenda, and this pretty much carried throughout the movie also. When everybody's fighting with each other, he's just like, you are the person who killed my father, I'm just going to chase you. I'm not
I don't give a shit whatever politics
I
is going on.
don't
I
care
don't give a
about
shit.
what's happening here and there.
Yeah.
And he's also one of those characters, man. Sokovia Accords was such a big thing in Civil War. And after the tunnel scene, pretty much when he takes off his mask, like War Machine is like, Your Highness. Who does that, man? You tell that, like, especially they're fighting in Berlin and all that. It's such a big, it's such a high tension moment as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that way, I really like the character introductions, and also the kind of tensions that was being built between Iron Man and Captain America and everybody else. Like, whose side are you on?
I think that could have been done a little better. A little better, because the comics, it was such an intense play of responsibilities and philosophies that these characters had. Should Spider-Man be on Captain America's side or this guy's side? What should he do? Like, okay, then he's like, there's so much at play in comics. But of course, it's a film. Of course, it should be conveyed in under 3 hours, and of course, it's a Captain America film. But that being said, if it was an Avengers movie, which it technically kind of was, but if it was treated in a way that the philosophies are being in question, not the characters, that
But
would
it
have been
was
something I
kind
would
of-
like to see.
Well, the philosophies were still kind of being questioned. Like, here's the thing.
Yeah, but it was only at the surface, because both the people are right.
That's exactly the thing.
Both the
Captain
people are
America is
right.
doing the right way in his own.
Yeah.
He's doing the right thing in his own way. So is Iron Man in his own way.
Yeah.
So one is doing damage control. The other is purely about being a superhero.
Yeah.
Captain America is like superhero. If there's somebody who really needs, I'm going to act on.
Yeah,
my
I
own.
don't want to wait on the government and everything and all that.
Yeah.
jazz,
And whereas Iron Man is like, okay, we've done so many things so far, where a lot of
You know what Civil War very slyly did? Very slyly. So, Ant-Man 1, 2, 3, whatever the movie is, he's just blasting off governments like, fuck you, Iron Man is me, this is Iron Man, I am me, I am Iron Man, that'll be prostitution if you want to take the suit away, that's not gonna be, yeah. He's
not
just
prostitution, prosecution, dude.
No, prostitution.
Prostitution?
Ari, there's a scene where he says that, right, in the court of law.
Okay.
Anyway,
Okay.
whatever. Maybe it's not that. Maybe I just remember it that way.
Prosecution.
No, okay, never mind.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
anyway, he's just blasting the government off. But in Civil War, he understands what had happened because of a mother
Sokovia.
grieving for her son, and he wants to own up to that. And because of that, he then embraces the government.
Because
and-
he understood that there are consequences to the actions
Yeah.
that they're taking.
Yeah. But speaking of consequences. Anyway, speaking of consequences, man, I want to talk about these Russo brothers, man. They're amazing. They're amazing in what they're doing. They're amazing in how they're treating every film and character. But anyway, after we talk about Infinity War, I'll get to it. Anyway, the next movie for me, Civil War. I think the best thing about it was how the villain played a role in that. He doesn't have much screen time as such, but his impact was basically what led to Civil War and everything. And Baron Zemo, he was of course not as good as the comics, but I love that how he played with the characters. He made them fight because he knows that if he uses brute force, he's not gonna win because obviously he's just a human and these guys are superheroes. They have abilities, so he of course cannot take them head to head. But if he crushes them from within, that's something that he doesn't really have to fight for. It's just something that he can do just like that. I'm not gonna say in a snap.
Yeah. So Doctor Strange is next.
Doctor
right?
Strange, man. Doctor
Strange,
Strange.
yeah.
That movie is so special to me because the minute it was announced, I was like, I'm gonna do this one particular thing before I go to the movies.
Yeah.
Before I watch Doctor Strange, and I did it, and it was amazing. Amazing. It took me 3 days to reach there, but well, I did, and it was wow. The minute I came into the theater, if it was in 3D, and it literally felt like I was in the scene. I was in the scene. I was in there with Doctor Strange and like fighting his war and like turning and tumbling with him and all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm really skeptical whenever Marvel. I'm really skeptical whenever Marvel says that they're doing a character intro movie because they don't do the very first movie well. So they did Iron Man well, but Thor 1 and all the other movies, they were not really that great. So when they said that Doctor Strange is coming out and Benedict Cumberbatch is playing it, it's like they only have one shot to get this right. If they screw this up, there's no going back from this.
Yeah.
And like the moment the first 20 minutes were over, I'm like hooked. I'm hooked, especially with the scene where she shows Doctor Strange how little he knows about the entire universe and how he's really such a small character, where he has to own up to the responsibilities that these guys are carrying, that they're the protector of realms and all that. I love that scene, man. It's like literally being mind blown, which is what she literally did to Doctor Strange. Like, but that's just floating in empty space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like that scene which I'm gonna be telling now. I was reaching the peak of all my senses, and it was right then when she's like, "Open your eyes," and then there's like, it's just mind explosion, like literally, both for the character and for me. It was like, wow, this is it. breathe. You gotta go through this. You gotta go through this. Yeah.
That
is
movie
an amazing
is such
experience.
a visual experience. It's a stunning visual experience
Yeah.
because the concept of gravity, the concept of time, the concept of physical structures is bended to such extremes that it's very difficult to comprehend. So when you're watching that movie, you're still able to relate the character because he's still the centerpiece, but everything around him, he's changing so quickly that you're just moving at light speed, where you just know how the plot line is going, but it's like, wait, what's happening? But you still know the underlying structure of it.
Yeah.
So that how they pulled it off was like really like it was really beautiful movie to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It will always remain one of the really good movies in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for a very long time.
Yeah. But I think that Doctor Strange can really still be. I'm not sure if we'll see Benedict Cumberbatch playing Doctor Strange to its ultimate potential, like the pinnacle of his extent.
But
maybe it will be there in Endgame. We're not really
exactly,
sure.
Maybe. Yeah,
Maybe,
we don't know.
yeah,
Let's not talk about it.
Yeah, because see, in this movie, I know that all the characters, Thor, Iron Man, we've been seeing them for so long. We've seen their evolution, but Doctor Strange has not had the pleasure of time. Literally. Even though he's carrying time stone, he doesn't have the character evolving. So even in the first part itself, the first half was like not much, but the second half, because he had that burning desire to learn everything, so he was using his own magic tricks to steal books and all that. That way, I like that how savvy he was to really grow. But even in Infinity Wars, I loved what he did. But Avengers Endgame, Doctor Strange is really the character that I'm hoping that blows my mind away. Iron Man, Spiderman, Thor, I don't really care.
Okay, no more talks about Endgame. It's literally tomorrow.
It's just about anticipation of what characters, like for you, it may be a different characters that you're hoping really blows you off. Personally, or be in the storyline itself. But for me, I'm really hoping that it is Doctor Strange. So yeah. Doctor Strange, good movie.
Anyway, so next movie was
Spider-Man Homecoming.
Guardians of the Galaxy
Guardians
2.
of the Galaxy 2. Okay.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Phenomenal movie. I love the movie. The movie is amazing. It's like, it's eyegasm, man. It's eyegasm for me. It's like, wow. I'm literally lost of words right now. Yeah.
So for me, not so much. I still like the characters because for me, Guardians of the Galaxy is not about the environment or the world that they're in. For me, it's about the characters and the chemistry that they have. Like they're just putting the differences aside and being themselves, and especially with the level of visual stunnery or the storyline that part 1 set. I was really hoping part 2 would do the same for me, but it didn't do that. Because like I know that it was hyped in the movie that who is his father, who is his biological father, because we know that once he held the Power Stone, he's not a human. There's more to Star-Lord than just a name and a fancy gun or suit, whatever. So, but yeah, I didn't like much about what they did with his father. But anyway, for me, it was a good experience to watch the movie.
But that's what I like it because of the same thing that you said. That it was all about the chemistry of the characters. So I think like since in the first part the group's chemistry was already tested and tried. I think everybody in this got their own versions of opinions of had their own opinions of what they wanted to do in this movie, in this scenario, in this moment. So everybody was kind of split in their own manner. Gamora is figuring out her sister's stuff. Rocket is trying to figure out his own differences with he's having his own ego issues with things, so he's trying to figure that out. The Drax is just being Drax. There's random mantis over there, but yeah, whatever. My favorite scene, like right now, when I'm trying to get back to it, it's still the scene which is when Ego is like, okay, I wanna take, like, let's go home, and he brings them to the planet, and that's when he shows Peter Quill how to harness the energy that he possesses, and Peter just makes a ball and just throws at him, and that's the moment, because that's what he has never really had parents. Like, he was really young when he lost his mother. He never really had a father, and now that his father is right in front of him, he wants to live with his father. He wants to experience all those moments that he had missed out on. So that's what, like, even when I think back in my life, when, like, all the moments with my father, it was always about, like, yeah, playing something with him, like being in the scene, getting my hands dirty with him and things like that. So he would tell me how to be faster in skating, and I would I would play cricket with him, ball with him, whatever, basketball, football, whatever that is. Yeah, I just remember those instances, and this is exactly what the character is doing in the movie, because those are the moments that he wants to live, wants to cherish, and that's what he's doing. But that's the thing. Even though Ego was his biological father, he wasn't the actual father to him, and it was Yondu, which is so blatantly said in the movie anyway. And I love that angle, because Yondu did not deserve to die.
Yeah.
At least he should have. If they had a few more moments, acknowledging each other as father and son, that would have been amazing.
I think it was,
which I think is the beauty of the film, that not always that when you realize when it comes to relationships, it's not always that you have time, and unfortunate things happen, and this was unfortunate with the character.
Yeah. So for me, it was. I think it was already subconsciously communicated in the movie that in the second part, Yondu was kind of taking care of Star-Lord. It was there in first part also, because he was trying to say that, okay, your father is not a good guy. And when he meets him, his father is all nice, but then he says, like, I killed your mom, and then now I want to kill you also because I want to be omnipotent and whatever. So for me, that plot was such a disappointment. It's like, it's just another father, like son searching for his father's story, that I didn't enjoy. For me, it was more about the characters, what Yondu played in the overall picture, because he commanded a fleet of a lot of scavengers, thieves, whatever you call it. So his sacrifice in the movie meant a lot to me, because it showed that even though he's not his father, he really cared for Peter Quill, because he had a good heart and he's a good kid.
Yeah.
So that way.
So for me, like, there are two scenes that would that I really cherish from the movie. Like, the one is the one which I said, him playing ball with his father. The second being this scene. What was that scene, dude? Okay, how am I
Yondu
forgetting?
escaping from prison.
Huh?
Yondu escaping from
Oh,
prison.
yes. Like, I love it for its visual appeal. That's what, yeah. I love it for its visual appeal when Yondu finally gets his arrow and, like, kills the entire fucking fleet, because this is my ship, bitches.
I would like to know more about Yondu's weapon also. Like, it's such a mystery at this stage. I'm like,
I think that is the beauty of that weapon.
That's a beauty, but also, like, I want a little more story about how he came into possession of that thing, because it's pretty much passing through anything, man.
Yeah.
It's passing through anything. It's like kill. Like, people are dying in seconds.
Yeah.
So that way, it's a really
that
beautiful
visual. Oh
implementation.
my god! Especially they play that song, man. Yeah. It's a music video. The entire movie is a freaking music video, dude. Like, it's so nice. It's so nice. Actually, come to think of it, there's another scene that I freaking like. It's the scene where all the Ravagers, whatever, Space Avengers, the original Guardians of the Galaxies, the OGs, like, not in the cinematic universe, but in the comics, when the Sylvester Stallone and the crew, when they come and they pay respect to Yandu when he passes away, and there's, like, fireworks in the sky. I cried, man. I cried in the theater. It's like, wow.
It's a heartfelt moment, not cry-worthy, but...
No, I cried.
Yeah.
I mean,
I really liked Yondu also, but I wish he had played a little more bigger role and not just limited to the Guardians of the Galaxy timeline.
Hmm.
But yeah, anyway, it's done. What's done is done. Get back James Gunn.
Yeah, get back. What's done is done, but get back James Gunn.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
coming up with cool hashtags, man.
Yeah.
Every episode has a cool hashtag.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
So next, Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yeah.
That's a home run with that movie, man. They did a home run with that movie.
Yeah, home run.
Yeah. See, here's the thing about Spider-Man. See, Spider-Man is the first superhero that you saw from your first-person point of view because his moves and the way he moves through New York was captured in such good detail where like you could see his own hands like shooting web and all that stuff. So that way it's a visual, it's a very visual movie. Like you saw it, like Tobey Maguire came it on like 2004, 5, 6.
Yeah.
During
2002
that
it
time.
came, yeah.
Yeah, so you're a kid and you're watching that for the first time. Like everybody's wearing shitty ass Spider-Man suits everywhere. Like, मैं Spider-Man हूँ, मैं Spider-Man हूँ. So Spider-Man was that character. But Sony screwed it up so much. Like just
Over the
trying
years.
to
Over the
like,
years.
mint money on it. Like
Yeah.
Tobey Maguire, 3 movies. Okay, whatever. Then like this guy came.
Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, Andrew Garfield came, 2 movies. Like, why are you like doing the same death? So the same death again. Like it's like follow the James Bond route. Like whenever James Bond changes, he's James Bond. He's not like every time there's a father dying or all these things. Like make a character the best. And I really liked what they did with Homecoming because he had already discovered his own abilities, but it was in a 2-minute clip where Tony Stark is talking to him.
Yeah.
It's not an entire movie. So
Or a sequence, or a scene.
sequence, or a scene.
Yeah.
So that way, I like that they compressed it so much, and Spider-Man is already good, and he gets a suit upgrade from Tony Stark.
Yeah.
So that way, and he's also very human, man. So even in the fight scene, the airport fight scene, when Spider-Man gets in front of Captain America for the first time, hey kid, where are you from?
Brooklyn.
Queens. You got a good heart, kid. So that way.
Sorry, he says Queen and then he's like
Yeah.
Brooklyn. Yeah.
Brooklyn. So that way, there's very good chemistry. The character is light-hearted, and he's also like Winter Soldier, full force. The metallic arm is coming at him.
You got a metallic arm? So
Yeah,
cool,
it's
man.
like- And like Falcon is like, how old are you, kid? He's like, is it the first rodeo? It's
Is
like,
that a kid?
yeah, it's like good. Like they're running and he's just crawling. What is that? It's such a like out of nowhere when like everybody's fighting, Spider-Man comes in. Is like what?
Yeah.
Like he just
the
outdoes
balls
everything.
he has. Like you even you were mentioning it the other time. Like no other person has ever tried to steal Captain America's shield, and he's like on the roof.
Intro
Okay,
scene,
guys.
Intro scene, man. That's really nice.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
for me, I think with the same humor, with the same touch, if it was given to Tobey Maguire, that would have been the best Spider-Man there is for me. I love Tobey Maguire's version of Spider-Man because agreed, Spider-Man's powers and discovery started when he was in high school, so they're trying to go down and down and down in terms of age. But when it comes to the essence of Spider-Man, I think Tobey Maguire and Sam Raimi did it very well.
Okay.
I am one of those guys who would defend Spider-Man 3, even though I hate it. But yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. For me, Tobey Maguire was a better Peter Parker. Andrew Garfield was a good Spider-Man. But with this thing, with what Tom Holland is doing,
Agreed, yeah.
it's a very good balance between what
Agreed.
Peter Parker is and what Spider-Man is.
Agreed.
Because this cool stuff, he's like, he's flirting, he's not good with women, he's like, he has weird friends
He has
around him.
actual high school problems.
Yeah, he has actual high school problems. He has to
Yeah.
attend classes, he has to do his homework, but he's still doing all this vigilante stuff.
I got homework, man.
Yeah, so
What
that
did I
way-
just say?
yeah, that's it. Like, so that way, Tom Holland, I like him. I also see first when I heard that Tom Holland was selected, it's like he's a kid. But then, like immediately, I understood that with such a big timeline, you need characters because movies are not released immediately this time. So the person also grows.
Yeah.
So Tobey Maguire was a little older to be Peter Parker, even for Spider-Man 1 that he did.
But for the time, he was accurate, dude. It was
For the
2002.
time, it was good. But
Yeah, it was 2002.
yeah, but Tom Holland, where
Yeah,
he is
yeah.
now,
Of course. It's
there's
yeah,
so much room for Spider-Man to grow right now.
yeah.
Especially with the suit upgrades that he gets from Iron Spider and all that. So
Hmm.
that way, I really love what they did with Homecoming.
Yeah.
It's a very good movie. It's a very good Spider-Man movie. Yeah.
Anyway, what was the next movie? After Homecoming, we got Ragnarok.
Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Okay. For me,
Oh wait, what's your favorite scene from Homecoming? What's your favorite scene from Homecoming?
favorite scene from Homecoming.
Yeah.
It's difficult to tell, man.
For me, it was hands down the scene where
Ship scene.
no, dude. Hands down the scene where Vulture looks straight at him in the eye and says, "I'm gonna kill you,"
Mm-hmm.
in the car.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, goosebumps. Ooh. I love the characterization of Vulture. Simply because he is right in his own way. And he is one of those villains which I will truly respect for him being a villain. Because he's just trying to earn money and he's just trying to find a way. And one of the ways was not really interfering with a lot of people, doing casual bank heists and just doing more discoveries for himself, so that inventions for himself, so that he can just take his own thing forward. And yeah, why not? Why not?
So, Spider-Man Homecoming, for me, a lot of little scenes were good. Like, he's stuck in that Shields thing where he's just like talking to his AI and he's like, what? He's like, you saw the quirkiness that he had. He's like, do you think that girl likes me? All those things, like, it's little things like that that uplifted my experience of the entire movie. Obviously, there's fight scenes where Happy comes in, he's like, oh, you
Activate
can't
and
talk to
kill
Tony
mode.
Stark. You can't get all of these things.
Yeah.
But he's still like trying to be the hero because he felt that Happy and Iron Man did not recognize the threat that Vulture was immediately, because he was trying to steal Iron Man's tech, but he still goes and intervenes anyway.
Yeah.
So a lot of little scenes and his morale that way was what like amplified my experience, because going against Iron Man is a big thing, man, for a kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if Happy says something, it's something. It
Yeah.
has to be done. But still, he's a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, so he's becoming what we know him to be. So that way, Homecoming is showed Spider-Man in such a good way that I'm like really excited to see what Spider-Man, especially with all the timelines and everything that and the potential that exists for the character. I really hope that they do it well in the cinematic universe really well. I know that Into the Spider-Verse is a really brilliant movie. It's
It
one of the
is.
most brilliant movies I've ever seen.
Yes.
I was literally blown away by it.
Yes.
And it's a very good timeline in its own to exist, where it's like, wow, why didn't I know about this before? Like for we've seen those characters, we play in the video games and all that, right? But for a lot of people, some didn't understand it. And like I put in the effort to tell them, okay, this is the reason why it's there in such a way. But otherwise, Spider-Man, I really hope that they do it well.
Yeah.
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 So,
Anyway.
next is Thor Ragnarok. So straight up, I'll say this about Ragnarok. For me, it's my favorite Thor movie, and
Hands
I would
up.
say that it's very close to how I felt about a movie, like almost as good as Guardians of the Galaxy 1. Because I think they used like Waikiki, whoever
Taika
the director
Waititi.
was. Yeah. The director, I think he took a lot of cues from Guardians of the Galaxy 1, because it's very colorful. It's very massive. It's there are a lot of characters. Like the Collector's brother is there. There's a lot of quirky humor that came in from there. And also, Chris Hemsworth in his own was also evolving as a humorous person. So they thought we might as well let him be the way he is in real life. Because if you look at his Instagram posts, he's embraced humor so much that in the movie it feels so natural. And especially with what they did with Hulk, also I liked it because Hulk got its own personality and he's like, what do you say? I wouldn't say very smash Hulk that we usually know of, but he has some kind of control over it where he's in a limited state, but he can operate as Hulk, but a little to his own control, because he was given kind of this Spartan or warrior kind of mentality, and he's like, I'm the greatest person, like nobody can smash me and all that. And when Thor comes in, there's a lot of chemistry there with Bruce Banner also. And it was dark when it needed to be dark, and it was lighthearted when it needed to be lighthearted. So especially with Odin's passing away, with Loki also being a good brother because Hela is the one who's challenging Asgard. So I like the chemistry there. So it was dark there. It was light wherever it needed to be, with Hulk, with the angel, like I don't know, the Valkyries. So the character who play that. So a lot of good fight scenes, a lot of good music also that is very reminiscent of Guardians of the Galaxy 1. So that way, it's a very visually stunning movie for me.
Yeah, but the thing is, Taika Waititi he always has had that kind of style. So even though it looked like it took its cues from Guardians of the Galaxy, it was still his personality. The entire movie was him. Yeah, he played Korg. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it was his personality. So that's there. But I didn't really like the film that much. Hulk had his personality, yes, but I think they could have done something else instead of giving him instead of just sticking for Hulk to be a man child, a man kid, whatever man child, yeah. So he's grown up and all. He's like devastating and he's dangerous and all that, but he's also a kid. Good. I mean, yeah, sure. Why not? But maybe they could have done something else, man, because the animated movies also explore the same thing. Comics, not all, but most of them explore the same thing.
So
But
why
yeah,
I like
I just wanted to see a new Hulk, as they showed. Like Mark Ruffalo was the new Hulk. So if they just had stuck to that entire format, like okay, so this is Hulk, this is Hulk, not like oh, so this is Hulk, like just like playing around, kicking things around. Nah, not that. I didn't really like Hulk in that way.
But it's kind of also related that Black Widow had sent him off, and then there's a lot of missing gaps where how did he end up?
That's
there in the first
related, yeah,
place,
but that's
whatever.
Mark Ruffalo. It's
Yeah.
no, not Mark. Bruce Banner.
Bruce Banner.
That's Bruce Banner, not Hulk.
Yeah, but still for me, I felt that the movie showed Thor evolving. He literally evolved into the demigod that he wanted to be, where he's the weapon himself. He doesn't need anything to be the best version of him. So that way, I think it was dark when it needed to be. It was light when it needed to be, and especially with all the visual like colors and all the. It was very much VFX heavy compared to the previous movies. So that way I really liked, because there's they're fighting through even the bridge also, and they
Devil's
get,
anus.
yeah, I don't know, and they get thrown in their own separate worlds. Thor loses. I don't like the part where Thor gets the chips on him and it's like what a
He's being
tiny
electrocuted
chip is
again
like,
and again, yeah.
and it's like a tiny chip is controlling Thor. So that really bugged the crap out of
Yeah,
me.
yeah, same.
But like other than that, if that part was eliminated, I like Ragnarok.
Yeah. Jeff Goldblum's character also, I think it was kind of overdone for me, in my opinion.
But for me, it blended well with the overall comedic or humorous theme that the movie was
yeah,
carrying.
but why just that? Why not something else? Why not something? Yeah.
Not everything has to be dark and gory, man. Go watch it.
No. I'm saying comedy itself.
Yeah.
He could be a funny character itself, but why
They went a little overboard. I agree with that.
Exactly.
But anyways, like it didn't really break the movie, so it's just there.
Yeah.
So otherwise, yeah, because for me, what it showed that is that once Asgard is destroyed, Thor's responsibilities to protect his own people was like really,
Tenfolds.
yeah, it was really intense, and especially with just Ragnarok ending and immediately Thor is just jumping into Infinity Wars. It's not a release timeline for us, but for Thor it is, because he's confronted with Thanos, and it's pretty much the first scene of Infinity Wars.
Yeah.
So that way, I really like Ragnarok. It's a good movie. It's not as terrible as Dark World.
Or the first one.
First one is
For me, even first one was a passable
second
movie.
is a pure filler movie for Thor.
Yeah.
First one was okay. But also Marvel in itself was nascent at the stage in terms of cinematic universe, so all of that can be ignored.
Yeah.
But with the budget and the characters and everything that they have right now, I think Ragnarok was what they did.
Ragnarok was definitely the best Thor film.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so two scenes that there are two scenes that I can always go back to when I'm thinking about Thor Ragnarok. One is of course when they depart from Odin, and Odin just says she's coming, and bye guys, I'm gonna leave you to it. I'll see you later, alligator.
Yeah.
Wherever I'm going. Yeah. And Hela comes, like, I am Hela. Oh yeah. Hello, sister. Loki says, hello, okay. I'm like, yeah, Thor just like throws the hammer, Hela kind of poof, gone. Like, what?
So that way, I also like that Hela showed the other part of Odin where
Yes.
the Viking kind of blood
Yeah.
that they say that they're really brutal, they're like really like they want money, they want power, all that thing. And Hela showed that. It's good that Hela had her own point of view, but either way, like for Thor to confront that, okay, he's not the perfect father figure. He had his own quirks, but anyway, he evolved. He made me realize that whatever mistakes he did in his lifetime is not what I repeat. So that's why he banished me and all those things. So that way, I looked at it where Hela kind of brought back the Odin in his younger days, where he's like he and her were basically conquering everything.
Yeah.
So that was nice, but otherwise, it's still a good movie. Yeah.
So yeah, the second scene that I go back to is the. Okay, I'm a huge fan of flashbacks and like special treatments within films. So I love the scene where it's a flashback of Valkyrie. Like what?
Yeah, that scene was really nice.
Wow, this is so good. Like they combine so many techniques in one shot. I was like, okay, they're thinking. These guys are thinking. These guys are doing something. Like wow, amazing. Yeah. Anyway, so after that, what's the movie? What's the movie after Ragnarok?
I think it was Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
It's Black
no.
Panther, I think.
Black Panther. Yeah.
Yeah.
1 second. Where is it? Black Panther. Infinity War. Captain Marvel. Oh, Black Panther. Infinity War. Antman. Captain Marvel. Yeah.
Okay. So Black Panther. I really don't care what other people's opinions are about the movie.
Same.
For me, it was Black Panther was one of the characters that I was really excited about because I know that for us to get a really mind-blowing experience about not a universe or a world, we had to go to Asgard or Guardians of the Galaxy. But all the while, somewhere in the middle of Africa, these guys had so much more technology that even Iron Man couldn't comprehend with all these things. And like they were way more advanced, and he's fighting his own wars in his own way. So for me, it was a visual study of how they showed black culture. That's one of the major reasons why the film became such a big hit, as to how they represent, okay, black culture is not just this or just that. They brought in language, they brought in food, they brought in a lot of design. So a lot of these old things that they picked up from the history, and then they embraced it so much in that movie. Is like, okay, it's an experience, him getting out of the plane when he's being challenged by his cousin for the throne, things like that. And there's a tribe, every tribe has their own thing, and they're like living in unity. So that way, in the world, I really like that it's a royal feeling where his father is T'Chaka and he has his guards and like they're really advanced, things like that. So for me, I really enjoyed all of that.
Bombay.
Huh?
Bombay.
Yeah. So that way, Black Panther, I really love the movie, man. It's a very for me, it was a breathtaking experience. For me, I would almost put it right next to Doctor Strange in terms of the visual story. Yeah.
I particularly don't like the film. Yeah, I respect it for what it was trying to do, but nah, it just didn't work for me. It just didn't work.
Yeah.
When it was nominated for Oscars, I was like, really, this
Not
movie?
Oscar worthy, but what it did for the culture.
The
you
music
cannot-
is mind blowing though. Music is amazing. Yeah, what it did for the culture, sure, but there have been better Marvel movies than Black Panther, and some of them, if not Black Panther, some of them did deserve to be.
It's one of the best character introducing movies ever made. In Marvel thing itself.
Nah, man. I don't know. I don't think so.
It's
still Iron Man.
Yeah. Huh?
It's still Iron Man for me.
I didn't say it's the best. It's one of the best.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So no. I love the antagonist. I absolutely love him because, again, he's not just another person who is like, okay, I want power, I want fame, I want money. He's like, this is a purpose, and this purpose needs to be achieved through this particular way. Your ways will not work, my way will work. And he was very driven by that purpose as to how he was attempting to fulfill it. And it did not feel wrong. I mean, yeah, blacks have been oppressed for such a long time, and now he's trying to give the technologies that he had within his own reach to the people so that they can claim their right. And yeah, that is how it is. I mean, if you don't help your brothers out, it's sad. But yeah, war, weapons, no go for that for sure. But he was very clear in what he wanted. Yeah. The world works on war. The world works on peace. Whoever needs peace, wants peace, is the one who needs to win the war. So he was very brute in that manner. He was very in that manner. But yeah, I like the what I liked in the movie was this difference between the approach of how they are with the world and how they are communicating with the other people in the world. So that was what was like. Okay, yeah, this is a good conflict between ideologies more than people.
Yeah. So for me, I wish they had done a little more with Claw because I was really looking forward to Claw being a really menacing character.
Yeah.
So I hope that they have done a little more with Claw. But anyway, it's still okay. So yeah, Black Panther for me is like really visually stunning. It's like the costumes are so different. It's like I've never seen a movie that really had so much more diversity and colors and all.
I don't know.
It's
I
fun.
think I have never looked at that movie that way because maybe I was always exposed to so many regional cinemas, regional films, and all of that that I was used to it. Like it was just seeing, just another regional film.
Okay,
It
so
was
for me,
basically it was just that.
for me,
Clubbed with Marvel.
how I looked at it is because so I've seen Disney XD's Avengers, the entire thing, and there's an episode where Black Panther infiltrates Avengers headquarters, and like he's invisible and nobody even knows about Black Panther being there because he's so way ahead
Stealthy.
in terms of technology with all those things, and like the first once he becomes visible to everybody else, basically when he reveals himself, everybody goes in attack mode and he kicks everybody's ass immediately. He's like, I'm not here to fight you guys. I'm here on a very different purpose. Like he was once the most wanted man in America also because he had that kind of reputation. But then later, once all the stigma was removed, it showed that he actually had a good heart and he was actually pursuing a purpose. So that way, I really like Black Panther, where he's independent. He's very
Yeah, the character obviously he is very driven. So I was specifically talking about the movie. Anyway, yeah, you were saying.
yeah. So that way, Black Panther, I really love the movie. I was hoping it was when in the end when Black Panther takes Bucky to his own
hideout.
to Wakanda to repair his own that metallic arm thing, and they show that Black Panther thing and there's waterfalls and all that. I'm like, wow. I really hope they show Africa well because Africa is not just a like piece of marshland, it's dry and everything. Africa is such a beautiful country. There's so much more that people just assume like okay, this is just it. There's not much more. So I'm really glad that they showed the way it is, and like everybody actually embraced it also. As a movie, as a character, it's a different thing altogether. But there's so many levels of music production, there's so many levels of costume designing, things like that that cannot just be ignored. Like he's one of the only characters who came on the cover of Time magazine that says something, whether you believe whether that carries weight or not, that means something. So that way it was really a cultural movie where I was really happy that it was done well. Yeah.
Nice. Next movie was, I think, Ant-Man? The second part?
Ant-Man's second part, such a disappointing movie. I was like, why did I even watch this thing?
Yeah. It was so possible.
Especially with Evangeline Lilly becoming Wasp. I was like so disappointed in that thing. It's like, yeah.
Before Ant-Man there was Avengers, Infinity War that we forgot. Anyway, let's just talk about this and then
Ant-Man,
the finale.
Ant-Man, actually there's not much to talk about anyway. I feel it's literally a filler movie. There's no reason for it to exist.
Just trying to link Ant-Man with Infinity War.
Yeah. There's no reason for it to exist.
And introducing Captain Marvel. No, wait, that happens in.
So that way, Ant-Man 2, I really have nothing to say about it, man. Like, such a disappointing movie.
I mean, it was obvious that he's just gonna like in the first part he was small, in the next part he's just gonna be big. It was so obvious, and that's what they were. Giant Man.
Yeah.
That's what he's been called. But yeah, I mean, it was so damn obvious. That, putting that aside, I love the visuals of the antagonist. I love the visuals of the villain. What Ghost Walker? I don't know what that. I have no idea of this character, and when I haven't even heard of this character, and not even seen the comics and everything. Not that I read a lot of Ant-Man. I really don't have much idea about who Ant-Man is and what his adventures were, but it was like whoa, what just happened? Like with the character, with the villain just going like she was a teleporter, right? Kind of like a teleporter.
No, I think
phase shift phaser.
She was some kind of phase shifting where she needed the technology that these guys were using to get back Hank Pym's wife from the quantum realm. So that is like, okay, I know what's going to happen. She's going to be saved. This girl is going to be defeated anyway. I know what's going to happen. So that way it's just like fight. Okay, I'll just watch that. End of movie.
But like her costuming was like, what? Like this is so fresh. This is so new. I'm disappointed that they didn't really use the character as much as they could have. Yeah, because like you were saying in the the other day as well, when why does every other villain have the same powers as the opposite, as the hero? But this one was completely different. This one did not even look like the heroes. It's just like completely new, completely fresh. So that was what, like, okay, wow, this is nice. I know where the story is going, but I'd like to see how it goes there. And yeah, it's kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
end of Antman. Infinity Wars, man.
Infinity Wars.
Okay. Look, Infinity Wars, they cut the crap out. It's like, let's get to business. Let's open with Thanos holding Thor's head in his hand. Let me say that again. Thanos holding Thor's head in his hand.
Yeah.
It's like a straight kick to the nuts the minute the movie opened.
Also, the way it opened, oh my god. No logos, nothing. I mean, logos are there, but no sounds, nothing. Just need help, need support, whatever.
It's what a movie would reach at 75% of runtime, but here it's like minute 1.
It's chaos.
Yeah, it's chaos.
Yeah.
Like Loki is there.
You're talking.
There's Hulk hiding somewhere, and like Hulk comes out, I'm Hulk, and like Thanos is like, come bitch.
Yeah.
Hulk is gone, and then basically Heimdall thinks saving Hulk is the best option, so he just uses his pass to transport Hulk back to whichever realm he sends him to. And like, wow, man, like Loki gives up the Tesseract, he breaks it off, and then he immediately destroys the entire ship that Thor and his entire Asgardian people were there with him at the end of Thor Ragnarok. So I'm not sure how well this is connected to the actual theory of it, but they say that Asgard's power comes from its people, not from the establishment itself. So with like Thanos just using the Power Stone to destroy the entire ship, and then him killing Loki also, like, wow. They like immediately it was like, shit is about to get serious right now.
Yeah.
So for me, it like Infinity War started on a like very, very serious note, man.
Yeah.
Like,
I was disappointed they killed Loki in the beginning itself.
It could be an illusion. You really don't know.
We really don't know at this point also, but
Loki being
like,
a god of mischief, whatever.
I mean, no. That's what Thanos says, no more mischiefs now. No more magic. No more illusions. And then he snaps his neck. So even Thanos knew that he is killing Loki for real right now. Yeah, but I don't know. I could be wrong at this. But I was so disappointed that they killed off Loki, especially because of the chemistry that they built up in Ragnarok.
But here's the thing, dude. Like, this is a conclusion to a lot of things.
Yeah,
a lot of characters will die, and they did die.
It is.
Anything can happen right now.
It is. I'm saying it was underplayed. Because what Loki did in that one scene, it was like, okay, wow, this is so good. Like, this is Loki. This is what Loki grew into. Forget all the things, all the bad things. Forget all the murders and all the war, all the betrayal that he did. Forget all of that. This is what is Loki now. And I was like blown away by that. Like right in the first scene, right in the guts. Oh, he died.
Yeah.
I was shocked. Like, wow, okay.
But that's also the movie setting a precedent that
of
the
course,
consequences and everything that happens in this movie is really severe. Really severe because Thanos is like driven by a sole mission to accomplish his stuff.
Yeah.
Basically wipe out half of the living creatures in the entire universe. So that way, I think when you're moving that straight of an arrow, things like these need to happen.
Yeah.
I know that Thanos really tried to avoid killing people and just like doing that snap of his finger and then eliminating everybody. That's why he also spared Iron Man's life and all that. Because
Not
Doctor
really,
Strange-
but well, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
everybody
because
has
Doctor
their own
Strange. Because,
interpretation. It's such
because
a-
Doctor Strange. Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, it's like it's everything is open to such interpretation because we really don't know what's going to happen next. So the only way to make sense of all of this is to connect the dots in reverse. You cannot predict. It's not the typical scene where okay, hero is doing that, he is doing. I know. how
Why
this
did
is
you
going
put
to
that
end.
in my head? Now I'm gonna not sleep and think about it.
It's tomorrow. Like you can. It really doesn't matter, man. Like before we know, it's like 3 months have passed away and like Infinity Wars is here. This anticipation is so much because
Yeah.
everything builds up to this right definitive moment.
Yeah. The movie was special to me because it was the first time I was seeing a movie alone, and I was seeing it in the new theaters that were being made. I'm not gonna name the theaters because they're not sponsoring us. Anyway, the projection was brilliant, man. Because the problem is Hyderabad being such a film-centric place, the theaters are shit.
The theater actually crap.
The theaters are shit.
You go to one
Prasad's
of the
has-
IMAX in Bangalore, you'll be literally blown away.
Yeah, anywhere for that matter. New Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, wherever that
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Why is Hyderabad so shit? Anyway, Prasad's being one of the largest screens in Asia, if not the world, being one of the largest screens, they're not projecting it properly. They're basically essentially upscaling whatever 720p on a 1080. Basically upscaling 1080 on a 4K.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you doing, guys? It's like, what the fuck? Like, do something with it. Like, yeah, fine. Charge 100 rupees more, but like, give us something. And it's so sad because the projection is dim. It's not nice. 2D screens are like blurred out, thoda sa, and you can't get the best experience. Sound is kind of lowered down. It's not to its full potential. That's how it's supposed to be. Forget full potential, but how it's supposed to be. It's not even like that. Even with Atmos, it's so sad. It's so sad. But this particular theater, I was kind of happy because they were like,
The one we're going to tomorrow?
no.
Okay.
Like, no. Anyway, I was kind of happy because it was still not the best, but definitely better than the previous ones. Yeah.
Okay.
I could see the details. I was the minute these guys are where the Soul Stone is supposed to be taken, where Red Skull is there and he's introducing. Yeah. He's like Red Skull says you need to give away the most loved thing, in order to get the Soul Stone, and he just turns. I could see the teardrop falling from his eye, and that was the moment I was like, this theater is good. This theater is good. I'm definitely gonna watch everything here. Since that point onwards, I've watched all the movies there, but I have high expectations now with the theater that we are gonna go tomorrow.
Yeah, man. But we saw it in 2D. I
Yeah.
really hope that the glasses
3D is nice.
like do not cut off like 30% or 40% of the light.
It would be so sad because this theater is owned by a film guy and an actor. Everybody knows now which theater we're talking about. But it'll be sad if the experience in 3D is bad.
Yeah.
It'll be really sad.
Yeah.
Actually, every character has their own moments in the film, dude, when I actually think of it. Peter Quill has his own moment like twice. One when he points the gun at Gamora and he's like, why did you do it? Why did you do it? Why didn't you tell me? Whatever he says. And then like shoots, fires at Gamora, but well, whatever. Thanos just plays Big Daddy. He's like, you ain't gonna kill my daughter, bro. I'm gonna kill my daughter. Yeah,
That
and
scene was also pretty intense because they're all hiding and then Drax also loses his shit and Gamora also the same thing and then they all go and confront him.
Yeah.
And he's like, I was just playing with you.
yeah, shit.
Yeah.
Intense. Because, see, who else? Rocket also has his own moment with Groot later on. And yeah.
Also with Thor also because like Thor pretty much could have died when he was taking the full blast of a living breathing sun.
Oh
to
yes,
create his
oh yes. That's
So-
when Rocket was so
Yeah.
It was
And
so
like, dude, how did we forget this thing, man?
yeah.
Groot. Thor's axe is made of Groot.
Yeah.
He's like, Groot is just he's being his teenager hormone shit and he's just playing his video games. When he realizes Thor is about to die, he just goes.
The thing is,
That-
I didn't notice this, but I'm not sure if the power of the new Mjolnir, whatever it's called, I forget the name. Yeah,
But
again,
amplified by Groot.
Huh?
Got amplified by Groot, is that what you mean?
Either that, new theory, either that, or it had the same powers as the Mjolnir. So only the person who is worthy can pick it up, and Groot picks it up.
But that's the thing.
But that's what,
that is
like-
enchanted from Mjolnir done by Odin. But here, when Peter Dinklage, the dwarf, crafts the thing, he said that this is something that was just built, put here so that only a king could really pick this weapon up because it is one of the most powerful things ever made. So that way, I think there's an underlying vague meaning to it, where it's like because Thor is what he is right now, Groot was able to do all that, and immediately the moment it falls down, Thor electricity and all that comes back. But anyway, man, like as soon as Thor gets back to Wakanda, it's like shit is really intense. He saves Captain America, or everything is like he's really full on right now. And like the moment when Thanos gets hands of the Time Stone and he gets back to Earth, we are already witnessing one of the most powerful moments between Vision and Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, again, another moment.
Yeah, where
the
Scarlet
characters.
Witch is like, I can't do this, but she really has to do it because it's
For the
half
greater
of
good.
every living creature in the entire universe. So the moment she breaks off Vision, while Thanos is still watching them, and she's like smug, okay, not smug, but devastated, but still happy that he didn't get to the stone. But then Thanos is like, okay, Doctor Strange gave me the time stone, and it's like he reverses everything. So that, and then immediately Thor comes, he throws his axe at him. Thanos has all his power, all the Infinity Stones on his gauntlet, full force at him.
What did you do?
Yeah.
What did you do?
Yeah. So that moment when axe hit him, it's like pure silence in the theater where everybody's wondering, oh my god, what's happening right now? And then he says, you should have aimed for the head. I knew shit was about to go, and like he just clicks, done. Thor is like, what did you do? It's like, I don't know if there was actual air sound in the movie, but it felt that way because the deaths were so peaceful but so devastating at the same time because every character is losing one of their closest friends.
Yeah.
So it was like Panther gone, Groot gone, Falcon gone, Winter Soldier gone, and Spiderman gone. Him and Iron Man are having a moment there. So that way it's like, wow, like, were we ready for this? Because I didn't expect that these guys would actually die. I know that one of them could die, but all of them died like this. Now we don't know if anybody is going to come back or whatever is going to happen in the next part. But it was such a heavy moment where it's like, oh my god, everybody just left the theater. It's like, when is April coming? When is April coming, man? Because I can't wait for this shit. It's like such a dude. You think Game of Thrones has biggest cliffhangers? That's nothing in front of this right now. It's
Yeah. There's memes going around now.
And Battle on Titan, man, I could watch that thing over
It's one
and
of the most
over
iconic
and
scenes,
over
man.
again, and it's going to stick with me for my entire lifetime because
For sure.
everybody, like the entire cinematic universe, is on Titan that time.
Yeah. It's such an exchange. It's such an exchange. It's basically like the camera is the ball, and it's Thanos is bringing
passing
down
around.
planets
Yeah,
and
yeah,
moons on Iron Man. Iron Man's like fucking off somewhere and then coming back again, and Doctor Strange's like, okay, I'm gonna kill you now. Whatever, I'm gonna defeat you, and then he's like, okay, you got this. I got something up my sleeve as well, or up my gauntlet.
Yeah, there's Strange, there's Iron Man, there's Spider-Man, there's Guardians, there's that girl
Peter
with the
Quill,
Tangler thing
Mantis.
who gets hold of a Mantis. Yeah, it's like
it's so-
really intense fight scene. So it's like at some moment, couple of them are trying to attack him. Where like Spider-Man, everybody is like trying to save Thanos' destruction and beating everybody else. It's like wow, there's so many things happening at the same time.
It is actually very hard to pinpoint what scene
Yeah.
stands out because the movie in itself is such an experience. Anyway, you were talking about like
On Titan, this is one thing that I thought about it for a long time. Thanos knew who Tony Stark was.
yeah.
Like, you're not the only person. He
Gifted-
says something
gifted
like that.
with knowledge,
You're not the only person gifted with knowledge. And I'm like, wow. It's like, he's really thought this through. He's like, I was like impressed by, and like there's it's vague, but it's open to interpretation that there's depth to it. So that way, man, like Infinity Wars, it's one of the best movies that these guys have done. Especially with you have so many characters to juggle. Every character needs his own screen time, and whenever they're on screen, it has to be of significant importance. Otherwise, it's not making the cut. So that way, it's a well crafted masterpiece.
Yeah. Anyway, that movie, because of that movie, they had to introduce someone else, and that was Captain Marvel, which is the next movie in the sequence.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Captain Marvel really rushed because Nick Fury presses the SOS button, and then we know that the star represents Captain Marvel. We know that she's a powerful entity, but I really didn't like the movie. It's such a big filler movie just to keep the timeline going on.
Yeah. Just
Like,
to give.
I still would have wished that movie didn't exist at all.
Context.
I wish that movie didn't exist at all. Give her a kick-ass entry in the movie itself. Give her a good amount of screen time where she's figuring out the synergy with the existing Avengers and everything. There was no need for this movie to exist at all.
Yeah.
Like, she could have been so much more impactful if she had just made an entrance right in Endgame.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't like the movie either.
Yeah. Especially with how much they underplayed Nick Fury and Coulson.
Yeah.
Like, why did you have
that was
to
exactly-
make it that much more humorous?
That was exactly what I was gonna say.
Not
Like,
humorous, it's like at the quirkiness where they're like trying to
it wasn't
appeal to a larger
necessary.
audience.
It wasn't necessary, and I think they introduced the quirkiness only because it was a female and protagonist.
Could be
And that's
anything,
very
man.
sad. That's very sad because they're just churning out movies just for the sake of, hey, we're also feminists. That's so bullshit. That's so lame. Yeah, practice it, but fucking don't like shove it down people's throats, man. Yeah, Wonder Woman tried to do the same thing. I mean, that is, I
Yeah.
don't really like
and
Wonder Woman. but-
most of it is such cliche moments also.
Yeah.
And especially with
Like, she's Captain Marvel. Like, dude, live up to the name, man.
yeah.
I mean, she would probably, I guess, in Endgame, but the movie itself was so flat. It was so
Yeah,
flat.
it's like especially Ronan and his armies. I know Ronan still doesn't have the Power Stone, but he's like, he's there and all, like glowing and everything, and they just go back. It's like, what? That doesn't even make any sense. Okay, if they're here, make something out of it.
Yeah.
Why did they come here in the first place? Is it
Yeah.
just to give importance to Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
Like, it's such a convoluted experience there. I don't understand.
Even
what's happening.
Inhumans was like, okay, so what?
And dude, like, especially with Endgame coming, I really wish that they had not put the end credit scene that they put in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
You undermine
Ruined it.
yourself so much, you just hit your own toe with a hammer.
Yeah.
You should not have done that. And even if you had put that, you should have blown our minds away. What
Yeah.
was that rubbish they did? Like, everybody was looking at their PC and like, dude, Captain
Screens.
America, Bruce Banner, Black Widow, and all these guys are there. And out of nowhere, she comes at light speed and stands behind them. There's no paper flying, there's no air, and none of these guys notice. That's
Yeah.
just impossible even for Captain Marvel.
Because, like even you were mentioning right after the movie,
Yeah.
that it's Captain America. Like, look at him, how he was in Infinity War. He knew
Dude,
what was.
Dude, he took on Thanos's sidekicks like, yeah, you want to fight with us? Come fight. He's
Yeah.
like that, man. Like, and Bruce Banner is there. He's one of the most highly sensitive people in his environments and everything. So it's like you just undermine so much. But either way, I'm just going to ignore that it's even there. I hope that it didn't even
If
make
only-
it the cut in this movie.
If only in that scene they didn't show Captain Marvel and there was just alarms blaring.
Just that, it would
Yeah.
have been incredible. It would
Yeah.
have been incredible. It would have added depth to the entire scene where there's
Yeah.
like the situation is so worse right now.
Like, if they just ended it
Yeah.
there, don't even show Captain Marvel. Like, just the question,
Yeah,
who is
yeah,
it?
just the
Who is
characters
it?
who are there.
Who is
They're
it?
there.
Yeah.
They're just trying to figure shit out. Captain
Yeah.
Marvel is not even there. It
Yeah.
would have been so much more impactful where like they really need her.
Yeah.
But like whatever, it's like guys.
Anyway, I'm gonna ignore that.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, like tomorrow is Endgame. I know we've been waiting it for a long time now. We did 3 podcasts on this. So
There's a high possibility that we are gonna jump straight into the studio right after the movie. So
It's
the next
going to
episode,
happen, dude, on
Yeah. So
top
the
of
next
our
episode
heads.
is probably gonna be spoilers. Heads up.
heads up. Episode 4. Don't watch it unless you've seen Endgame.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think that's what we're gonna title the movie. Title the episode.
Yeah, we're going to start saying that also because
Yeah. I think let's have a 5-minute round of how we felt of the movie, which is a spoiler-free thing, and then get into it, or do it
people
reverse.
don't want to know even that, dude.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Like, when did Marvel put a hashtag as its sport? It's like, don't spoil Endgame.
Yeah.
Hashtag don't spoil Endgame. Don't be a dick to your friends. Don't do it to anybody, no matter how much you hate them.
Dude,
don't
there
spoil
are
Endgame
still
for anybody.
fucktards who have spoiled it for a bunch of my friends. Rahul ko bhi to kiye.
Chill. Don't say anything to
no,
me right now.
I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna say because he has posted those screenshots, but hasn't given away the spoilers. So.
Anyway, man, I don't care who you are. I'm going to stab you if you say anything to me. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, good talk. Guys, this is very crucial for you to subscribe to the channel right now because we are putting in everything that we have got so far. We have a lot more guests coming up in the show. So, we're going to talk about science, we're going to talk about culture, we're going to talk about influencers, anything.
Churches. No offense.
Yeah.
Churches.
So anything that fascinates us, we're going to talk about in this particular show. So even if you want somebody to be on the show that we can, get access to, put it down in the comments. Put down the favorite scenes from any of the movies that we spoke about.
DM us or just send us a mail, give us a chat. Our email ID is reach.supernacular@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Bare minimum.
share it with your closest friends, and then show the support that you've been showing us so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good talk.
Good talk.